The billionaire businessman Elon Musk has added another X to his portfolio of companies. He's rebranded Twitter, dropping the bird logo and replacing it with an X symbol. For more on this, we're joined by the My Broadband editor, Jan Vermeulen. Jan Vermeulen, thank you so much for your time tonight. So, is this another blunder or a stroke of genius by Elon Musk? Is the constant question with the changes.
Yeah, that does seem to be the constant question with a stream of changes he's implemented at Twitter. And as with all of them, it's too early to tell. It's going to take a couple of years for everything to shake out. But certainly marketing professionals are raising big questions about this because a brand has actual value. You won't see Nike changing its name to X.com or Apple or anyone. Now, while Twitter is certainly not Nike or Coca-Cola, Twitter does have a valuable brand. That little bird icon was visible on every single website on the internet, just about. You had apps on your phone that allowed you to share things to Twitter, and so that icon is instantly recognizable. And so to mess with that is, to put it in the most generous way, incredibly bold. And so, one hopes that this play by Elon Musk to turn Twitter, or at least to use Twitter as the foundation for a super app, pans out at the end of the day. But a super app is not an easy thing to get off the ground, as many people who have tried in South Africa can attest to.
But is this a necessary change at this point, Jan, when you consider that many of Musk's initial plans for Twitter are yet to really take off? I mean, he wanted to get rid of all the fake accounts, the bots, make it a profitable business, for example. All of that, those two missions, for example, are yet incomplete, yet was starting something else.
Yes, so it's difficult without, public data on bots. We just have his word to go on, and they claim that the changes they've brought into effect, for example, API rate limiting, the blue check mark, allowing people to pay for the blue check mark, has indeed limited bot activity on the platform. But certainly he's not making more money at Twitter. Advertising revenue is down 50% by his own admission. Twitter Blue, by any measure, any independent measure we can find, is not doing particularly well. So yes, your point stands. This particular change, whether there's reason behind it or whether it's just, he felt like it. He has X.com. He's burning to do something with the name X.com. He certainly seems to have quite a lot of attachment to it. His very first successful business that we know of was X.com. It was eventually sold and became PayPal. And he bought that domain back and wants to do something with it. And here we are, rebranding Twitter to X.
And in rebranding Twitter, then, you said something interesting, that super apps are very difficult to get off the ground. They're already a lot of people, millions of people on Twitter. Yes, we don't know the exact number because of the infiltration of fake accounts, bots, etc. But why is it still so difficult to turn it into a major money spinner and make it a super app, or at least get Musk's ambition to take Twitter and then take it into the direction of building a super app, whatever that might be?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and the short answer to that, as best I can tell, a global super app, I'm not sure that's possible. I think the people who've got the closest is Facebook, with Facebook Marketplace and so on, and when they tried to introduce their own currency, a cryptocurrency called Libra, it immediately got shut down by US Congress because they were afraid. They were afraid of what that might mean for the US dollar if Facebook actually introduces something like that. And so super apps seem to be quite localized to the markets in which they operate, where they are successful. Now, so to me, the bigger question is Elon Musk not just turning Twitter into Facebook? They've extended the amount of characters that you can post. So if you've got a blue tick on Twitter, then you can post like 10,000 character tweets now. I don't think those classify as tweets anymore. Those are essays. And so the very character of Twitter seems to have been eroded. And so perhaps a rebrand isn't a bad idea, to go, listen, this is no longer Twitter. this is an entirely different social network. But, what do you lose with that? And is there room in the market? Is there demand in the market for this newfangled social network, which is starting to feel just like an amalgamation of all the other ones? Like it wants, the short form videos of TikTok and maybe a bit of YouTube in there, and it wants some Facebook. It wants the message encryption of Signal and WhatsApp. It's difficult to understand. Like there's no coherent vision that I can see or get behind or even explain to people. This is what Musk is driving at. Everything feels quite haphazard at the moment.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because from the birth of Twitter, it was the cooler of the two apps. I'm talking about Twitter and Facebook. Yet Facebook appears to be in a better position financially and otherwise, and for all intents and purposes, there are expectations that Facebook will outlast Twitter. How did the older, less cool app get it right when this new modern thing was clearly not doing as well as it should have done or was expected to have done?
Yeah, so Facebook has been able to retain users and publishers and content creators where Twitter has struggled. So Twitter has struggled in a couple of different ways. Twitter has struggled to monetize its creators or to allow creators to earn income off of the platform. Let me state it that way rather. YouTube is probably the best of the bunch when it comes to rewarding creators for their efforts for the platform. Twitter was nowhere to be seen. So Twitter, that's probably the one positive thing that's happened recently, is that they're launching a creator advertising revenue split program. Now, even that was controversial and politicized, which I don't think we have time to get into, but it's in place, at least an early version of it. And then the other thing is Twitter, where platforms like Facebook have made it really easy as an advertiser to give them money, Twitter still has quite a lot of hurdles. It's not nearly as easy to spend money on Twitter as it is on Facebook. And then the next thing is that simultaneously Twitter's strength and the thing that sets it apart is also its weakness. So Facebook is linked to real identities. And in fact, it is essentially against the terms of service to use a pseudonym on Facebook. Twitter encourages pseudonyms and anonymity. It encourages you to have multiple accounts. And so that makes advertising targeting quite hard. And that is the real value that digital advertising brings, is the ability for advertisers to target specific audiences rather than taking a shotgun approach. And that seems to be something that Twitter hasn't cracked yet. And that's a massive double-edged sword as well, because for advertising targeting means that you need some privacy invasions. And, the whole shtick at Twitter at the moment is, it is not the same as big tech.
Right.
It is more private. It has, more respect for users' privacy. It is less invasive. And the second they start to mess with that formula, they might start to lose users again. So, it's a tough nut to crack for Twitter.
Jan Vermeulen, my broadband editor. Good to speak to you. Thank you.